9 out of 10 Eternus players agree. Floating eyes are still terrifying even if you're in the top 1% of Deadlock players. Especially if looking at the floating eye will get you immediately cursed, make sure that you cannot be healed, and also give you a 200% damage amp. To make matters worse, if you look at the eye for 0.5 seconds, it'll steal a random item from you. Even more horribly, if you are looking at the eyes for 5 seconds, maybe because you're stuck in a corner, maybe because a Moe and Krill is ulting you, or maybe because of something else horrible, well, you get petrified for a whole minute. So, are 3 of these floating eyes enough to give 6 initiates a chance against a team of 6 Eternus players? Let's find out. Eternus versus Initiate, but the Initiates have massive floating eyes that will curse you if you look at them. It is going to be a fantastic game of Eternus versus Initiate. I'm going to explain to you how the eyes work. So, if you look at the eyes for even a split second, you will get immediately cursed, you will have 200% damage done on you, so basically a 200% damage amp, and all healing will be forbidden. If you look at the eyes and continue looking at the eyes for 0.5 seconds, they will steal a random item for you. If you look at the eyes for 5 seconds, so if you really mess up, and these initiates have used their massive amount of stuns, or the eyes are just very close to you, you get petrified for 60 seconds, so you're like removed out of the game for a chunk of time. It is going to be one of those games that we have no clue how it's going to go. I do have Transparent and Shiba here with me. Transparent, what do you think about this one?
I just don't know what's going to go on here. We've got so much pressure on each of the lanes. There's an extra person for the initiates, and they're just focusing down. It's going to be a good one. I don't know who cooked up this idea, Gluten, but it's going to be a tough one for the Eternuses.
Okay, I see. So you're going to do eye puns for the whole game. You've decided to just be very cornea for this one, huh?
I see what you did there, and yes, absolutely, this is just going to be chock full of eye puns.
Yeah. Now, of course, Jonas really was passionate about this mod, and if someone's passionate about a mod and willing to do the whole thing, I'm gonna show it in the channel. Now, of course, let's start discussing about what the big strengths for the Eternus team are. So the very first strength is that these eyes have a limited radius. The eyes are Oracle players, so they're fairly good at the game. They're not initiates like the rest of the people here, but they are very limited visibility, so they can only see in a radius roughly equivalent to what you would think from a Drifter ult. So they have to be like relatively close in order for them to, actually see who the hell they're cursing. Hello there, Future Snake. I just wanted to clarify. Looking at the eyes from any distance will get you cursed and all the negative debuffs. However, the eyes only have a very small radius, so they don't know that you're looking at them unless an initiate tells them. The second thing is, of course, the soul splitting. There are 3 initiates, or 2 initiates in an Oracle lane. There are 2 Eternuses, so they're gonna have a lot more souls on average, even though, the initiates are gonna have that big advantage of those curses. And of course, the last advantage of their Eternus players. They're gonna have a very good draft, and we need to really start talking about this draft, do we, Transparent?
Yeah, I mean, this Eternus is, they've gone for as much collateral damage as they can. There's a parry on an eye, but they try and get the melees, but they just keep getting interrupted, not quite realizing it, and the eyes do get a kill. As I was saying, Gluten, the Eternuses have been trying to go for this sort of collateral damage. You've got an owl from Grey Talon, you've got turrets from McGuinness, you've got some sploops from the Viscous here, and of course those bombs from Paradox, really trying to make sure that AoE hits around where those eyes are. But, we see this Graves trying to run away, all while being supported by an eye. It's a very deep dive here from the Initiates, and someone's been petrified. They will be there for quite some time.
Yes, and the problem is that the Graves, instead of targeting the actual viable... Ooh, more pause lock. But yeah, I mean, the Graves skulls are just not helping her as much as they should be. I do think that the Initiates are showing a little bit of progress here, especially with that big freeze. They're going to have at least some space in lane, but again, these 2 guys are just very strong.
Yeah, I mean, all it takes is a little bit of a breath from the Eternuses, and they're able to find the space they need as we see Rem here come down, try and punch this Kelvin, but the Kelvin gets the parry. What an insane play here. And the eye from down the corner means this Rem can no longer chase, no pillows to be thrown, and that Kelvin gets away with possibly the best play of their career on a Glutensnake video.
I mean, again, it's just the Eternuses are used to playing these Eternus versus Initiate events in a specific way. They need to learn that they cannot be as aggressive as they normally can, right?
Definitely not as aggressive, Gluten. You can't sneak them past me. I will laugh at them all.
Yes. This is gonna be a very long game, and I hope we have enough time to do all of the puns that I've planned at least.
Oh, I'm sure you do. As we have once again, this McGinnis coming raining down, trying to find as much safety as they can for this poor old petrified Paradox. But the eyes zoning away. They're doing such a good job at keeping space. Real nice work here from the Initiates.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's a big shame that they don't have a Viper. A Viper will be able to go through that barrier, but instead the first is just aiming at her constantly and frequently. I don't know. Is she going to be able to escape? I don't think she will. Instead, the big march is for the Walker. I mean, this Graves is certainly doing work right here.
Yeah, and as we see, this is just a little bit of a push in. The walls come out, though, from McGinnis. It's a great wall. This Infernus is struggling to escape, but they will be able to do it. As this Paradox still is being reminded that they won't be able to play the game if they keep looking at the eyes.
Yeah, of course. I mean, the petrification is just a normal part of looking at giant floaty eyeballs. Like, that's how it works. So, no, the Paradox manages to escape very well, actually. It seems like the Eternus did not, the Initiate did not have a good enough timer. The Paradox goes in and gets killed, however, by that Flame Dash. Flame Dash can be so strong if you're low health and do not have those cooldowns.
Yeah, McGinnis here, able to fight off those skulls. They know all too well how to deal with that. There are a whole load of troopers, though, at this, and they will have to deal with that.
this, that. So much pause locking happening today. There's a bit of lag. There's been some FPS drops with the newest patch, and of course, our players are from all over the world, and by all over the world, I mean NA and EU, because that's like the world, right, Transparent?
Yeah, that's the world of Deadlock for sure, as they try and do... Oh, it's a good catch on this Infernus. And yeah, we are going to see the skill level of these Eternuses really be expressed when they can, as these eyeballs, they're not invulnerable, they're not immortal, they are just Sinclairs in a nice fancy costume. Looking like a big eyeball is just a sort of side project for them, I guess. Is it cosplay? Is that what we could call this?
Hello again, Future Snake here. Let's look a little bit at what is inside the eye. It is a Sinclair with a Drifter ult, so he's kind of blinded. You can imagine it as like an evil curse of some sort. Anyhow, back to the show. It definitely is cosplay, right? I mean, if you're cosplaying as a mannequin already, might as well cosplay as an eyeball. I do want to talk a little bit about the item choices from both sides. So as we discussed a little bit earlier, the eyeballs can steal your items. So we see that the Eternus players have opted for a lot, and I mean a lot of tier 1 items to compensate. So even if one gets stolen, who cares? You just go and buy another one. We don't see a lot of early tier 3s. Despite the massive soul advantage, these Eternus players have almost twice the souls of any given Initiate. The Eternuses also have some fairly good choices. I mean, Viscous can save you with a nice cube if you're ever caught like very cursed. McGinnis with those walls already have proven her value. McGinnis certainly one of the characters that profited the most off of this earn patch, let's call it. So Paradox of course can be very good with swapping, but I mean, like, at the end of the day, what are you gonna do if your team Initiate and you're still like 3k, 4k, 5k behind at minute 8? Like, how can you engage with these Eternus players?
Well, I think you just have to open your third eye, Gluten, and realize that the team fights late game will be an absolute menace. You know, if you got these 3 eyes all around you, surrounding every part of your escape, a part of your initiation, you're going to be looking at someone at some point, and a curse will just stop you completely in your tracks.
Yeah, I mean, that's the sort of thing that will completely annihilate the Eternuses. I agree with you wholeheartedly. Now, I mean, yeah, the team fights are certainly going to favor Team Initiate. Those curses are going to be so valuable at denying earn, making sure you get a lot of damage coming your way. Something like an Infernus stun into a big steal can be valuable. I'm going to talk a little bit about what the eyes are playing, and we see that at least one of the eyes is going for a very melee-heavy build.
Yeah, I think, you know, being up in the faces of the Eternuses will mean that they're sort of a bit more distracted, a bit more discombobulated. Their eyes will be going around trying to divert their eyes. You know, you don't want to be staring into these too long. You may well just fall in love with them, as when staring romantically into one's eyes can often happen, Gluten.
Yeah, I know. I mean, like, personally speaking, one of the things that I like doing as a content creator is staring lovingly into the viewer's eyes, showing them the great content that this channel provides, and then just saying the 3 words that completely change their lives. You know what those 3 words are, Transparent?
Oh, do remind me, Gluten.
Like and subscribe, of course. Like and subscribe, my dear viewer. Let me longingly look into your eyes, and I'll like and subscribe.
As a hypnotic gaze comes across all the viewers here today, we do see this Graves desperately try and take down this Walker. And that's going to be a Walker for Team Initiates, should they get it. But this McGinnis is more than savvy in the art of defense. Do have this urn being picked up, and they have got a little bit of a soul disadvantage, so they will have, of course, those buffs, important buffs around the urn turn. And Infernus here looking to try and make it happen, as we see Viscous using all of their movement tech and all of their splash damage to try and catch as much damage as they can onto these initiates.
Yeah, I mean, just distract them for a little bit. We do see, however, that the Eternuses are not all there. There's a bunch of eyes already defending. Rem is getting ready to do something here, but the urn has been deposited, and I think that Team Initiate will be able to hand it in just fine.
Yeah, a little buff here for them. To be able to get that in, it's going to start to turn the tide.
I mean, I think that the big thing that you need to do here is, of course, don't get caught to get cursed like this poor talent here. But I think as far as the Eternus strategy goes, wait till minute 30 and hope to get a very, very big team fight where you can just immediately annihilate the people with half your souls and then wrap up the game as quickly as possible in a way that only these Eternus players can do. Of course, Team Initiate does have those 3 eyeballs, which are all Oracle players, so they're going to get a little bit more help with their macro than usual in these events, but I don't think that Oracles are able to macro as well as Eternuses. I hope that's not a controversial statement.
No, those oracles are, of course, the seeing eye that they need. Maybe even giving a guiding watch over the initiates. I love the combos that we are starting to see. I mean, we had this Kelvin Dome just a few moments ago do a great job at keeping a Paradox preoccupied inside next to an eye, but still, you know, there is still damage coming out, and this Rem and Viscous are going to be able to keep themselves nice and topped up and maybe try and push in this mid lane.
I mean, these Eternuses really have to keep their eyes peeled for any sort of opportunity to get any sort of pick here, as this McGinnis is trying to survive inside her healing, but it's not gonna matter. This Infernus is almost all the way to the enemy base. He does not have any eyes for support here, so this Paradox will presumably be able to wrap him up pretty quickly alongside the Talon, but still, being able to get a pick there, incredibly important.
Yeah, of course, we have had these items being stolen. Every so often, these eyes are getting a little bit more powerful themselves. So those soul amounts aren't necessarily the exact amounts of their the Eternus's net worth of items, particularly. They could have a little bit less due to those the eyes yoinking away anything that's precious to them.
Talon is trying to come here and get those Guardians. Usually, Eternus will always find a way to weasel a Guardian or 2 out. But, I mean, it's been just so tough this game, because despite their massive soul advantage, their items keep getting stolen, which is certainly a very, very bad situation to be in. This Talon opts not to go in for the Owl, seeing that there's an eye nearby. Wants to go in for just a simple pick, and maybe he can go for a nice little Owl a bit later. He does have already 4 stacks coming out of that Owl, which is, you know, pretty respectable at the 14-minute mark. So I'm curious to see if these initiates are going to be able to defend that mid lane. It seems like they are pushing all the lanes so effectively this time around, Transparent.
Yeah, they absolutely are. And, you know, we have this Kelvin dodging around, having to use Frozen Shelter on themselves because these Eternuses are just playing around the vision of the eyes so well. You know, we saw Great Talon very scared of it, but still, even then, getting the damage through, killing people when they needed to, and here they are trying to go against this Kelvin as well, who doesn't have a Frozen Shelter anymore. They are going to be a little bit more squishy, a little bit more vulnerable, unless they've got the backup of those seeing eyes.
Now, of course, now the Infernus has realized that an eye is a very good companion when doing all these base pushes, so he's brought one with him. I think that's not a bad idea at all.
Yeah, it definitely can be good here, getting onto that patron. The wall is going to shut them out for a little bit, separates them, in fact. This eye is stuck on the other side, gets destroyed by the Infernus, trying to come in, and the eye is rolling around, making sure that they can be as disruptive as possible. Just a quick glance puts a curse under those enemies' foes, and they do get the stun. It's a good stuff here from Eternus, but they aren't trying to get the kill just yet, as McGinnis has been flanking and was able to take out the eye.
This Paradox, for example, is opted to go for only 2 items. A Headhunter, so not even a Headhunter, Headshot Booster, and an Unstop. Now, of course, if I were the Paradox, I would want to pad myself with a couple more items, because what happens if that item does get stolen from you? And she is trying to look here. Okay, she does avert her gaze, and I think she's going to be able to survive.
Yeah, they're going to have to be careful here as this urn gets turned in. It's going to be a real fight for it, as we see Paradox desperately trying to keep them zoning around. Oh, it's a good frozen shelter, and we see a lot of damage come out, but it is these Paradox bombs. They just absolutely control the urn turn-in point, and as parries and melees come out, it's an absolute bloodbath here. McGinnis goes down, Paradox is having to run away, the Eye's just trying to get in the way as much as possible, but a couple of kills come out for Eternuses, and it looks like they might be able to contest this point despite there being Eyes. Oh, it's a good flick shot, and yes, the Eternuses do come out ahead.
Yeah, surprising outcome. I don't know. I mean, it's Eternus players. Like, sometimes they're just gonna win the game.
Yeah, and as you said earlier, they have these opportunities when these fights happen. They just have that slight little bit of skill. We saw there just flick shots left and right, and it's allowed them to get the first Guardian of the game for them.
Yeah. Now, of course, there is a counter push here on lane number 1, and with that eye looking at you, I don't know. I think you're able to survive fairly well. The curses are aplenty, and I think they're going to be able to get that last walker. Well, not last walker, walker on lane number 1, rather.
Yeah, we have the stone form here put on there. Oh, the viscous to surround them. That's going to be really useful, actually, to maybe try and get the debuffs off. Although it is, of course, non-ultimate, so it's just keeping them safe for the time being.
Yeah. Of course, I mean, like, there comes a time in the game where 60 seconds of being disabled is going to matter a lot. Can you imagine something like that happens right before a mid or before some other big fight? Very risky. What I really want to talk about is the weird discrepancy in this game. On the map, we see that the Initiates still have 2 of their 3 Guardians. Their Walkers are untouched. They're, like, completely dominating the macro game. On the top bar, though, they have half the souls of the Eternuses. It is actually kind of insane how big the discrepancy is.
Yeah, I mean, of course, they do have a couple more players. 3 more players is always going to be, meaning that those souls are a little bit more split, but also that macro pressure is a little bit harder to deal with, especially when you're a person down or 3. But as we see, this Viscous desperately going around in the goo ball. They do, however, get stunned out by, I don't think it was an eye. I think there's no eye in this fight. Instead, Viscous is free to roam around as quick as they can.
They're trying to run away, and I mean, I think they're going to be able to hide by the Walker, but that Walker is just too low health. The wave is already there. I think Team Amber is going to be able to easily secure that, and I don't know. Every single time, the Eternuses win these battles, but they're losing the war. Pyrrhic victories. How can you make a boss play when in the blink of an eye, you might all get cursed as a team and petrified? It's just too difficult. I think Urn is the correct thing to do here. I think that the Eternuses are going to struggle in this Urn fight. And if the Initiates manage to hand it in, it's going to be a very good advantage for them. They're going to be able to combat some of that soul difference. And of course, the Urn only gets split 6 ways. So what happens is if you have like 30 players, they all get the same amount of souls they would get as if they were 6.
That urn is so generous. It's here for us all to keep everyone going. But we have a big fight here going on around this urn, trying to start the setup. It is going to be Sinclair going nicely in there, as a few of the Eternuses are actually petrified underneath mid. That's why we don't see them moving on the minimap. I think that's going to be another urn here for the Initiates.
The Initiates are positioning themselves very close to this Walker on lane number 2. It is their last big macro trophy before the base starts being something to play for. And I think that they're trying to go for a very big fight here, but I mean, there's just so much damage coming in from Team Eternus.
Yeah, they found it. There is an eye here, and there's a nice bunny around there to try and disrupt things. Still, this eye is returning back a little bit further to base, keeping zoned out. I mean, I love the way the Eternuses are defending this mid-walker with everything they've got, but they need to start making some aggressive plays as well.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think that it's just a very precarious position to be in. Like, this Graves has put her ult there, but the Infernus is back. You're fighting a 3v2 against people who are much stronger than you. I think you might be able to have enough time to do mid here, even as Team Eternus.
Yeah, although we do have a petrified McGinnis here. They're trying quickly to take care of this eye. Oh, it's so hard to look at it. We see the flick shots coming out from Grey Talon, really trying to make sure they're landing that extra damage. As they have plus 90 on that owl, as that has been such more the reliable ability for them to do damage and take out the other players on the enemy team.
I mean, yeah, any sort of scaling that doesn't come through items is so important in this game, because, I mean, you might buy Boundless and suddenly find your Boundless easily stolen.
Yeah, it's a good little walker buff here. That's going to be a crucial slot, a crucial amount of souls as well, as we have 41k on this McGinnis. They're going to be dumping everything into trying to make these turrets do a lot of damage. They've got escalating exposure. They've got Echo Shard and Rapid Recharge.
Yeah. Divine Barrier does not cleanse Petrify, as we just discovered, so sucks to be Team Eternus, huh? If you're Team Eternus right now, you really need to make sure that those eyes are killed. One of the eyes is already critical. Talon does not have his owl yet. He'll have it in like a couple of seconds. But, I mean, like, what are you gonna do? You can't just, like, go in and deliver the urn anymore. You can't just try to sneak it in. You have to have a big fight.
Yeah, you have to have a big fight. Maybe you can just look at the floor as much as you can, just to sort of make sure you're not looking at any eyes, but I don't know if that's even possible. As we see Paradox coming in, she's got the Unstoppable. There it is, it's popped. It's huge. There's a lot of bombs on that turning point, as we see damage onto damage being done to the eyes, to the lash, to the Kelvin, but still no one goes down, and that means that those eyes are still up and about, ready to look at you, ready to glare and make sure that you can't activate your abilities.
And Team Eternus has to back here in tatters. Geist is already dead. And I mean, this Talon is getting hunted by this Kelvin, who is punching. He is punching. But will he be able to survive 3 arrows to the head? Well, two arrows on an owl instead works.
But all while that was happening, Gluten, McGinnis was taking the mid walker. So not all is lost for the Eternuses.
Yeah. Coffee Baby versus Hydrogen Bomb. GT, you're really fun to fight. This is serious, by the way. I mean, it was a very funny one. Just like 2 bolts to the head, and then he summons Owl, and that's when you know you fucked up. Oof. Ren is proving to be very good at healing people along. McGinnis ult has been activated, but it is not the McGinnis who's activating it. It is those Sinclairs, and the Sinclair stuns are proving to be so strong. They're trying to run away, but they just cannot. 2 McGinnis ults is too much damage.
Yeah, I mean, this Sinclair does have quite a few items. In fact, they have exceeded the normal item amount, I believe, now.
Yeah.
So we are getting bonus slots. Oh, no, hang on. That's still normal. What am I talking about?
Yeah, I mean, like, again, just so many items. Like, he has 22k, but he has already, like, 2 6.4k items. Just all of the cool crap he stole over the course of the game. But yeah, that talent is becoming insanely scary. It does look unnatural.
22k, but they've got Boundless Spirit and also Transcendent Cooldown. That Sinclair has felt so good stealing these items from the Eternus players. A couple of walkers have gone down. Not an urn is spawning in just 3 seconds. That'll be the next fight. Are we going to get a boss anytime soon?
Yeah, that is the big fight. Just the 30-minute mark is, you know, when the cooldowns for death are just so high. One big fight into mid-boss, into something else can be the difference between life or death.
Yeah, we do have nap time coming out here, trying to make sure, oh, it's a good little sleep, catching on the edge of the eye, but Geist unable to throw bombs in here. This is a great frozen shelter from Kelvin. They're looking to do good work and keeps the rest of their team alive. Good work from the Kelvin.
Yeah. I mean, so far, so good. I'm, like, legitimately impressed with how Team Eternus is approaching this. They're going for punches, throwing them wildly into the air because they cannot see their opponents. I think that is hilarious. But yeah, I mean, this strategy is proving to be so good. Only 4 members are alive from Team Amber. 5, I think. And I think that Eternus can make for a play for mid very soon.
Yeah, they absolutely can. Unfortunately, their Paradox is a statue on top of mid at the moment, but that will help with scouting out any approaching opponents as the rest of them do descend into the mid-boss pit. I like this play, and surely this is the perfect time for it.
Yeah, I mean, like, what are you going to do? Yeah, your Lash and your 7 might be able to intervene here, but they're just so far out of position. Everyone is looking at the ground, trying to make sure they don't get cursed, and 3 rejuves. Yeah, I mean, it's not just a bad thing because you get stunned for 60 seconds, it's a bad thing because you also lose an item. I mean, this Paradox, I'm pretty sure had a duration at some point, but now she only has 2 items, that Unstop and that Echo Shard. And then now she's going down. These Eternuses are afraid to buy items despite being at 50k, 40k souls.
I think you're right. They just need to buy slop. Item slop all the way through your build. Don't worry about the fact that they cost 800 souls. It's much better that they get stolen than your precious Unstoppable or Echo Shard.
Yeah. But, I mean, like, this is also very interesting to me, despite the fact that it's the Eternuses that have rejuves. The fight is not happening on the Initiate side. It's happening on the Eternus side, on this Walker.
Yeah, I mean, they have to be so brave to, like, try and do anything coordinated, but as more and more Sinclairs surround them, it's so much harder for them to get a good viewpoint to attack someone, and instead they just do turn to stone, and as the Initiates stop trying to hit the stone-formed Eternuses, they do indeed take down this final Walker for them.
Yeah, but McGinnis is actually the person who's changing the whole game. While this Viscous is massively delaying, she is the one who's looking at the ground, throwing turrets, not even shooting, and trying to wrap things up. She's looking at the opposite direction. And she manages to get both base guardians. It is a wise choice.
Yeah, just don't look. I think the Sinclair thought maybe they could do something, but you know, this is a 55k McGinnis. They still have many of their items. They're still looking good, and they still absolutely can put some pressure on in the macro if left alone.
Yeah. The punches are impeccable, and that Mo is down. There's still 2 rejuves left. 2 huge picks on Team Eternus' side, and I think they might be able to advance a little bit.
Yeah, they're pushing forward. They're trying to make that space. Those troopers are pushing up right now, and as soon as they find a fight without a Sinclair in it, they're feeling very, very good. So it's up to the Initiates to make sure that they keep those Sinclairs with them. Otherwise, stuff like that happens, and we see just instead these Great Talon Owls annihilating people on the spot.
Yeah, I mean, like, this is the sort of game where, you know, you would almost never get Refresher for someone like Great Talon, because, you know, 40-second ult cooldown, but being able to shoot 4 arrows, an owl, then 4 more arrows and an owl might have a lot of value in these games. The Talon is trying to look on the ground to get his curse to run out. There are 3 eyes there, and oh boy, you don't want to be looking straight in their scleras.
No, you really don't. You don't want to have any sort of peeping at them at all. You know, this is why we see McGinnis just focusing on the ground, just saying, I'm just going to let the turrets do the work. And they absolutely get the job done. You can't blind a turret.
Yes, well, I mean, you presumably could petrify a turret. I've been on the receiving end of Viper petrifying my turrets many, many times. Usually it insta-kills them, but sometimes it petrifies them, I think. I hope. Anyhow, this McGinnis is trying to fight here. She is alone. There is a Talon who in theory can support her, but I mean, like, is this fight going well? I don't know. This is the most obscured fight we've seen in the history of Deadlock.
Yeah, I don't think the McGinnis knows if it's going well or not. They're just putting turrets down on the floor and hoping for the best. Instead, it's these Sinclairs having to back away, heal themselves up, try and make sure that they can have this base defense. The Eternuses, it feels like they've turned the tide a little bit. You know, the death timers are just that little bit long enough, and they're able to catch people where they need to while still averting their gaze away from these eyeballs.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, the shrines are probably going to go down. 4 picks. I think that it's very hard to mount an offensive here. But like, at the end of the day, the final battle of any given game is in that pit. And once the eyeballs are in the pit, like, how are you going to be able to hit it?
Oh my gosh, you just put an eyeball basically in the patron, right? And then it's going to be super hard. You're relying on just the turrets of McGinnis, on the bombs of Paradox, and maybe some additional explosions from Viscous and Geist, but we have yet to see that. We've yet to see a little bit of a problem here, as still there's so much damage coming up that these Sinclairs are having a hard time pushing forward.
Yeah. I mean, there is 1 shrine still left, and I look at the minions on the Team Sapphire side. It seems like Archmother's base is being destroyed. Rem has to go back and try and salvage the situation there. I mean, a bunch of damage on the shrines can really matter.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely does. You know, it can all add up, and there can be the way that they come back into this game. But for now, we do see McGuinness, finally, the almost inevitable end it felt like for these Eternuses, has been taken down. Still, these eyeballs floating about. Paradox trying desperately to put damage out without looking at them. Yeah. It's so hard in this base pit.
I mean, like, I can only imagine, like, you had the game in your hands and suddenly because of the eyeballs, it goes away. Like, you must be, like, insanely irritated, like, seeing that situation.
You're still slipping them in, Gluten, despite us being so late in the game.
Of course, I have to. It's part of my duties as channel host.
A swarm of initiates are around that urn drop-off point. Still, McGuinness is up, and McGuinness is saying, urn drop-off? I don't think so. Potentially, I want to go do some macro and still push on that base.
I mean, like, at this point in time, trading an urn for that last shrine and maybe even a patron being down, fantastic. The initiates are all gathered around it. They just do not want to let that urn be delivered. I mean, the Eternuses are twice the souls of the initiate team yet again.
Yeah, I mean, they're absolutely stacked up, and rightfully so. You know, we've got some crazy items coming out here available for them, as we do have this fight start to break out in the middle. This Grey Talon just looking to peek around, try and get those absolutely heavy arrows with the spirit buffs that they've got. They find 2 kills, and it's going to be an absolute gorgeous time for them. But the boss has been started by the initiates, and there's 3 eyeballs in there. Paradox can barely look.
Yeah, but she does throw those bombs. Those are going to matter a lot. Kelvin comes in and freezes that mid-boss. Is there going to be enough? 3 secured for Team Initiate. And now the big question is, can you wrap everyone up on Team Eternus using those 3 rejuvs?
Yeah, Lady Geist goes down. That's going to be good. As does McGuinness. It's a good time to turn the tide here as Infernus desperately tries to put down the fire. They get taken down. Still, this Paradox, who wanted to come and steal something, who wanted to swap someone away, is frozen here in time. Don't blink, because you're going to be stuck like a statue forever.
Yeah. Now, of course, the big problem is that getting stuck as a statue is one thing. Those shrines getting eliminated because the macro is bad is another. And another massive pick here by the Talon. I am so impressed every time I see him.
I'm just going to check on... Talon currently has 420 spirit power. That's absolutely insane. Their charge shot is hitting for over 1,000 damage, Gluten.
This big fight is cooking in. It is going to be that big fight for the urn. And of course, whoever wins this fight might as well just win base here. 1 big pick already from Team Eternus.
Yeah, getting that Graves out is so good. So much of her damage is sort of clunky and in the way that, you know, it's disrupting you, especially when those eyes are going to be making sure you can't see. But we are having a little bit of a macro play coming in here. Mo and Krill and Sinclair have taken out a shrine. Meanwhile, the rest of the Eternuses are looking to try and put some pressure on here. We can hear the Grey Talon owl soaring around, and it does take out this 7 as Geist looks to try and find any sort of support.
Yeah, Kelvin in the meantime is getting stuck in the map geometry, trying to make sure that he's able to survive, but look at how many turrets are already there. They're going to be able to kill him pretty quickly, especially once that Talon takes a look at him. And I mean, that is 3 picks for Team Eternus. I think they're going to be able to deliver that urn. And is an urn worth a walker? A shrine?
It's certainly worth a lot. I'm not sure what's more deadly right now. Grey Talon or these eyes. It definitely feels like Grey Talon is sort of scary and like a nightmare monster for any of the initiates. If they see Grey Talon, they're running.
Yeah. I mean, this Echo Shard build has been really dominating the McGuinness gameplay so far. Very, very good. The McGuinnesses are going straight for base. They don't care about the urn. They want to get all of those shrines, which is a very reasonable statement. I mean, at the end of the day, it's not a soul thing for them. They already have all the items that they need. They already are at full build. They just want to win this game.
Oh, it's a huge Lash ulti though, and throws a lot into the pit. Still, those eyes weren't quite there. They were not quite in position for this defense. Still, we are seeing the patron slightly go down. This goo ball rolling around, trying to make sure that they don't get caught out too much, but they do fall. That's 2 players down from the side of Eternuses, and these Grey Talon arrows now have to find their targets. 3 members down. Can they find any more?
Yeah, I mean, like, pick after pick after pick after pick. The Eternuses have lost 3 of their team members already, but that Talon is in the sky looking for something. He's gonna have his flight very soon. He does not have enough gun damage to make that worth it, but he does have Recharging Shot, and Recharging Shot can mean the difference between life and death. That Terse, though, comes at the worst possible moment as that 7 is completely dominating the skies over the enemy base. The Patron is down, though. The Patron is down, and that is perhaps the most important win from this fight.
Yeah, super important. And the fact that Talon got out there, just evading the eyes, super important as well. They need to have as many members up because despite, you know, having this push be really good, if you lose Talon, he's going to be dead for basically 2 minutes at this point. An urn coming up, we've seen them not care too much about the urn now. They've got so many souls. The only person who isn't slot locked is that Paradox, who I believe has had so many items stolen from them that they are sort of just running around, being a distraction. They don't even have the Unstoppable anymore, Gluten.
Yeah, I mean, like, it certainly is a big shame. That Unstop can be just such a valuable tool, and you having to buy that every 5 minutes is so annoying. It's like a potion of some sorts. But, I mean, this big fight is happening right here. We do see that a couple of the Initiate players are low. My intuition is this fight can be a distraction. Just send someone to go and grab that base, if you can. If you can even push it a tiny bit.
Oh, it's a good parry here from 7, which may well keep them alive. But this looks to be like the fight of all fights. Everyone gathered on this blue lane. It's going to be going down. Someone's going to be taking names, or someone's going to be going home. As we see just a couple of Initiates go down, the Eternuses are going to feel a lot more confident now, as we see it. Eternus as well, but it is down to the eyes. Still, another one down, and I think this might be GG.
Yeah, I mean, like, the Eternuses are all full health right now. If they were wounded, if there was a chance to do, like, one counter maneuver, I would have been so happy. But no, it seems like instead they're just throwing bombs in the ground. The splash damage, I don't even know what the hell is going on. And I don't think the Eternuses know either. They're just looking at the ground all this time. But with 5 picks, 6 picks, 7 picks, I think that they're going to be able to quickly wrap up the game.
It's been a heck of a fight, but here we are. Without 3 eyes on their team, they maybe needed another. They just couldn't see the end of it. As we have Eternuses take this game. GG, well played.
Yeah. It seems like the nays have it because, you know, certainly the eyes didn't, huh? I really hope that game wasn't so much of an eyesore that you will not like and subscribe. If you like games where we give Initiates extra player to help them, what about this one where we gave the Initiates a thwomp? Thank you so much to our Patreons and have a good day, folks.